evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams. I'm your host, and of course, to my right and to your left is Julia Perciasepe. Hello, Julia. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Great. How's everything going?
Good.
And we are coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at BNN-TV, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. You can give us a call at 617-708-3290, or you can tweet us now.
What?
Yes, you can tweet us if you're too nervous to call that great staff of Dave in the other room. You don't want to get your voice on air, or you just want to, drop us a line saying hello. We are now on Twitter, and you can tweet us at It's All About Arts.
2014.
Right, 2000. It's not 2000. It's not It's All About Arts 2014.
No, we are now in 2014,
right,
and we have a Twitter account.
Right. We have all kinds of accounts going on, though,
Yes.
and all kinds of things. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
What's new and exciting? I love this around the neck thing. That's beautiful.
This is my bold statement, my
You're
bold fashion statement.
There's something bold happening today?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, I felt being bold. Yeah.
Good. Well, you should.
Yeah, it felt like spring today, huh?
It's beautiful out. It's great to be back at school, a week into school, and it was kind of fun letting the kids go out today.
Yeah? You let them loose?
You let them loose in the schoolyard today, and they were just so happy to be out there. It's way too, when it's cold, when it gets below a certain degrees, we can't let them out.
Yeah.
And that kind of really hinders their blowing off of the old steam, because they end up back in their classroom just sitting there, and it's kind of a drag, but it's okay.
Cool. Do you have any kind of long-term projects coming up? Or?
Yes, we're actually working on, right now, we're working on the kids who have been doing all of the shooting and stuff. We're actually joining BNN.
Oh,
Sacred
cool.
Heart is going to join BNN, so we're going to have a monthly thing that we do. Plus, it's also going to get me the opportunity to get a couple of kids over here to really get some look-see in the studio experience.
Nice.
But one of the things that I've discovered is you shoot all of this stuff, and now you have all of this material that needs to be edited.
Yeah.
And to get that done in a 40-minute segment, a class segment,
tough.
it's very, very tough. Yeah. So we are going to be doing some, like, excerpts from this, excerpts from that. Instead of editing a complete show, it's going to be kind of like, here's what the first half of the year has been like, and make that into, like, maybe a 20-minute thing.
Sounds good.
The other cool thing is that they're recording music. They're going to be recording music soon, too, so we're going to be able to get them to do the soundtrack as well.
Very cool.
And the younger kids are doing claymation stop action.
Yes.
So we're going to get those videos.
That's
in
amazing.
there, too.
Wow. These kids are doing more than
They
I'm doing.
They have a great art teacher is what it is. No. I am so fortunate to be working at Sacred Heart School in Rosendale, because they have given me a license. They've said, "Glenn, get in there, make make some art happen," and
That's nice.
and we've really had a good chance of it.
And I bet coming here is such a cool experience for a kid.
This Thursday, I'm bringing us a group of my Orchard Gardens kids over here to get the experience of coming in and sitting in the studio. They're going to be in the big Studio A, and they're going to get a chance to sit and kind of look through the cameras and kind of see how TV really works. But this is a younger group. This is going to be like 9 and 10-year-olds, and they're very, very excited about it.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun.
That sounds good.
How did the South End go? I'm so sorry, and I have to apologize for Suzanne, too. Neither one of us were able to make it. When I got out of Orchard Gardens, I said, okay, I'm going to get over there, and my car, for some reason, kept going towards Rosendale, and I fight it.
It's so hard. It's at the end of the day, and you're just like, home. But no, it went really well.
That's good.
It was packed.
Remind us again what it was that was going on.
Sure. It's the film is called The Neighbors, and it's about kind of this movement in the 60s and 70s in the South End, kind of when the demographics started changing, this movement to kind of keep the neighborhood as diverse as possible with affordable housing. It remains today one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Boston, but also kind of a model for kind of integrating lower income housing with, businessy people that now live there.
now that we're kind of spreading out a little bit, South End would be which demographic in Boston? because there are people that are outside of the city who might be saying the south end of what?
Right. So I guess it's the south end because it's kind of the south of the city, right? And so.
But it's part of Roxbury, part of Jamaica Plain.
I don't know. I think it's its own thing.
It's its own thing?
I mean, it's bordered by Roxbury and Jamaica Plain, and then downtown.
Okay. Chinatown.
Chinatown, yeah. So it's kind of this
kind of
little
in that
pocket. But it has a really large Puerto Rican community, and you know, it's very diverse, but in a kind of a small area.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's cool, and we had some great conversations afterwards.
With a film, you see, I've been struggling now for almost 2 months now. The filmmakers?
Yes.
What are they called, though? Are they called filmmakers, or are they called
Yeah.
videographers? Are they called, I mean, there's many.
All of the above, kind of. So
Okay.
there's kind of this overarching term of filmmaker, and then you have the director, you have the producer, you have the videographer or cinematographer, you know, and then whoever
the sound
else
and
is
lighting and everybody else.
So and the editor, and so there's a lot of positions that kind of go into making a film.
In your experience, which is the person that the public kind of wants to talk to? Is it the Ron Howard guy that's kind of doing the directing and sitting in that fancy chair, or is it the writer, or is it the star? Who do you figure?
With the kind of films that we have, and with smaller independent films, sometimes you know it's only one person who's doing everything. So. It really kind of depends. Sometimes it's the director who takes the lead, and sometimes it's the producer who's really doing the outreach and promoting. And
I guess it depends on who the audience is.
yeah, who the audience is, what the film's about. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you found that because of the quality of the production of the film, that you've had some people who have come to your company to get films that have specific kinds of editing or specific kind of directing where it's going to be helpful towards the students that they're teaching in their institution?
Yeah, we do have a lot of films that are about filmmaking itself and are used as examples of certain types of filmmaking. So yeah, we have a pretty strong collection in that. Observational film, ethnographic film, you know, personal narratives, all different kinds of things. And then actual tutorials of filmmaking, and also.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
no, I didn't think that would be part of it.
It's kind of loosely a tutorial. So we have a couple of collections of indigenous filmmaking films where it talks about, you know, teaching indigenous communities how to make films. And so kind of in that process.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's discussed a little bit, but yeah, it's.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Now, you've never had a shoulder mount yourself and run around and done, you know, Julia's World, for instance?
I haven't yet.
But does this inspire you to do that?
It definitely does. I mean, the films that we get, they're filmed in such amazing places about such amazing things and people and communities that aspect of it really inspires me. Like, wanting to go and learn and just kind of be a fly on the wall in these various places. The technical parts, I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
It's tough.
Sure.
I mean, editing, you know, I hear horror stories about that. That can be a real drag.
Flick of a switch and you know, things are gone.
Yeah, so I think it takes a real commitment to be a filmmaker and a real passion for what you're doing.
Are you finding also that because it's mostly documentary, it's documentary-based films that you're doing, the people that are running it are more passionate towards the subject matter than they are towards maybe wanting to be filmmakers, wanting to be, you know?
Definitely. I think a lot of the films come out of some experience they've had. And we have filmmakers who've spent, you know, 10 years on a film living in a community in Papua New Guinea or something like that. So, yeah, there's a real commitment to the subject of the films. And we look for that when we acquire films.
Can they make a living at it? Or is it grant-based?
A lot of it's grant-based. Some of them do make livings off of it.
Well,
but
Jacques Cousteau made a living at it because he had that whole connection, you know, with to the whole GBH world and all that.
yeah, if you kind of, there's kind of the passion films that you make for yourself or for a small audience, and then, you know, a lot of them do other things for PBS or WGBH or things that, you know, they can make a living off of, but aren't necessarily, you know, their dream project.
Dream. Well, when you talk about somebody living in a community in the middle of the wilderness, I mean, there has to be a commitment to that.
Definitely.
A love of what's going on.
Definitely.
Much like we have a love of what's going on around here. You know, I do want to take a minute, though, Julia, to talk a little bit about who keeps us on the air here. We're very proud of our affiliation with the Boston Main Streets program. Boston Main Streets is a volunteer-driven organization that helps revitalize business districts around the city of Boston. And with Rosendale, where I'm from, is one of the very first ones. And what they do is they help the owners of the buildings with demographic information about who's living in the community and what people are buying outside that they can't get there. And then they also work with the property owners, I mean the business owners. Once they move into that storefront, they kind of like look around, what do I do next? And the Main Streets is right there for them to help keep them all the information that they need to keep going and what have you. Then there's the entertainment end of it, where the promotions committee comes out and helps bring people down to the area by running different events like the farmers market, like South End does an unbelievable job with SOA and all of the things that they run. I mean, they bring people into that community from outside of Boston. It's just an incredible deal. But that's what Main Streets does. We will always, every week, we have to thank them. I know that you regulars are saying, "Oh, here he goes again," but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't at least say thank you to the people that are keeping us on the air here. Do you have any experience at all? You said a couple weeks ago the only thing you'd never heard of Main Streets before.
No.
Coming here.
No. That's weird,
you
right?
You're JP, right?
I know.
JP does a great job. They have a couple of them in Jamaica Plain. You know, the job is never done. The offices do come and go because you kind of dry out, and it's such an incredible amount of commitment and a lot of work that people do. I mean, there's a board of 21 people out in Rosendale. Wow. And they busted. I was on the board for many years, and I tell you, it's an awful lot of work. But if you see someone walking around with a Main Street t-shirt at an event, make sure you thank them because they're a volunteer, and the only reason they're doing it is because they love where they live just like you do. So make sure you thank them for us and yourself. Julia's World is we're gonna tackle it here today.
Yeah, we'll kind of talk about things. Just
have you been out and about?
Not this past week, but there's some exciting things coming up that I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Do you know about the Haley House in Roxbury?
I do know about Haley House.
Yeah, so they have every Thursday, starting on the 23rd, from 7 to 10, they have kind of a open mic night. Sometimes they do screenings, sometimes they have music performances. So that's definitely something to check out. I forget what it is called. It's called Art is Life Itself. I know, right?
Pretty deep.
Yeah, it is pretty deep. What else do I have for us today? Oh.
Now, where is Haley House?
It's in Roxbury.
Whereabouts?
I'm blanking on where. It's
Haley House.
What?
Haley House is off of Dudley Square.
Yeah.
And it's on Lower Tremont.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you go through Dudley Square, where the new teachers, the education department is being built in the old Ferdinand building in Roxbury. Go past Dudley Station down there. Haley House is on the left-hand side in there. Yeah. They're great.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
And good food.
And good food. They do.
Yeah.
I have lunch there many times.
Yeah.
I will work right around the corner. What you got? Okay.
Yeah, and we have coming up at the House of Blues. I don't know if you've ever heard of Trombone Shorty.
No. Who's Trombone Shorty? Should we have him in here?
He might be too big for BNN. I don't know.
No one's too big for BNN.
We could try, but yeah, he's a trombonist. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Trombonist and a trumpeter.
Not a trumpeter.
No, not a trumpeter.
Not a trumpeter.
How do you say that? A
trumpeter. Trumpetist?
A trumpetist.
Trumpeter. He's a tromboner.
Anyway, he's from New Orleans, and he has a band, and they're just so full of energy, that kind of New Orleans band energy. Yeah, you can't help but dance to it.
Have you been to New Orleans?
I have. I love New Orleans. Yeah, it's such a good city.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be at the House of Blues. Let me just check my January 18th, this Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, this weekend coming up is Martin Luther King weekend, and we have at the Orchard Gardens Boys and Girls Club is having a celebration, and the great governor of the state of Massachusetts will be dropping by.
Oh, yeah?
To Orchard Gardens. We're very excited about hosting an event where he'll be there. That's the Orchard Gardens Boys and Girls Club.
That is very cool.
Yes, over in Dearborn Street, right next to the school. So we're very excited about that. Do you get out? Do you go to would you go to the House of Blues, or is it possible for you to be seen at I don't know, at TT the Bears?
Yeah, I'm a big concert goer.
Oh, yeah?
I love going to concerts. So that is kind of my main artistic
do you prefer
outlet.
concerts over theater or movies?
Yes, definitely.
Movies? Careful, it might be something
I know. That's a tough call. I adore going to concerts, and I love music, but I also do love movies.
Of course,
it's an entirely different experience. One's very kind of low key, and one is not low key.
Do you have a venue that's your favorite?
I do like the Paradise Rock Club and Brighton Music Hall. They oftentimes get really good acts, and I just love the space itself, and I like more intimate spaces.
Paradise is nice.
Yeah, I mean, the House of Blues is great, and, you know, I've gone to see things at TD Garden, but
Did you go to the House of Blues in Cambridge in Harvard Square?
No.
Now that is where it started.
Really?
That's where the original House of Blues was.
I didn't know that.
It was literally a house of blues.
Yeah.
And it was just a small, cram-packed place. You'd be
sounds
there,
awesome.
and Dan Aykroyd would be behind the bar, and you'd walk around. You know, it'd just be incredible.
No way.
Yeah, way. They started it.
Amazing.
They started the House of Blues.
That's awesome. Blues Brothers.
Yeah, it was great. it was a great spot. Myself, I don't like the whole cattling in and cattling out deal. I enjoy live music.
Yep.
I like the Scullers. I like Riles. I like going to the Paradise Cafe in Dedham, which is nice and small and intimate, nice. My days of...
Yeah. You should check out, one of the other things I wanted to mention was, I don't know if you've heard, it's a fairly new venue. It's part of Berkeley. It's called the Red Room at Cafe 939, I think it is.
Really?
It's right on Boylston Street.
Is it student run?
It's mostly student run, but it's, you know, it's got school funding and all of that.
Yeah,
so it's pretty.
I mean, the performers students, or they bring in
Not
acts
always.
in? Yeah.
They do bring really good acts in sometimes. I know they have free acoustic performances coming up. Of students, alumni, and special guests.
Nice.
Yeah, but the fun thing about it is that it's all ages, and when I say all ages, I mean all ages. Like if you go, you'll see 10-year-olds, and you'll see 70-year-olds, and there's no bar or anything, so it's just very chill.
That's cool.
Yeah, I would recommend checking it out.
Have you been to the Midway in Jamaica Plain?
I have, yeah.
That's since the expansion. Before it was smaller.
Yeah.
It was a tiny little place, and we used to play there all the time.
Yeah,
and,
they have some fun things happening.
Yeah, they have some cool things going on. I mean, we've had some CD release parties there, and just gone there to play. And
They're
rock.
great at supporting, you know, local bands,
Yeah.
which is really important.
Well, I think that those are the bands you really like, kind of want to go see. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to go see, you know, Bruno Mars, you know, but it's also is he one of yours?
If you're into that, no.
You're not.
Are you?
I do 3 of his songs.
Oh, sorry.
Just don't tell him.
Yeah, don't
Probably
tell
doing
him.
better than he. No, I don't do him better. But I think that local artists, local musicians have lost a lot of the spaces to play. I mean, even you know, even someplace like church. I mean, you used to be able to
Yeah.
play at the Paradise. You know,
Yeah.
you used to be able to play at TT's. You know, but they're bringing in these. It's all about bringing in as many people as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And it's hurting. It's
Yeah.
hurting things.
The Middle East is another good one that supports.
Middle East has that nice
They
space
have
upstairs.
the upstairs and the downstairs, and so they oftentimes have local bands.
Cambridge does better, I think, than I mean, there's All Asia, there's Toad down in Porter Square. I mean, they seem to do a better job
Yeah.
of supporting. And then, of course, the Cantab. My good friend Andy Hollinger in Zen Armada is going to be there in a couple of Saturdays from now. Very excited about it. They're doing this Lou Reed tribute and
Oh,
stuff,
cool.
so I'm going to be
Nice.
obviously there, you know. So it's going to be a fun thing. Well, I just thought I'd ask because, you know, at some point where we should go and review and cover a couple of things when the weather gets better.
I would
and
be
we can't
into that.
slip and fall.
Yeah.
Got anything else?
Not really. That's about.
Well, I do also want to mention before we get to our great guest, we have a great guest tonight. I'm very excited about this. We're going to be talking about where art fits, how art works, the whole getting art to people. You know, it's difficult these days. Where do you find it without having to go down to Newbury Street? Not that Newbury Street isn't, you know, but there's got to be an easier way.
And affordable.
And affordable,
art.
yes.
That's a big
very,
one
very difficult.
for me, at
So-
least. I love art, but
You do art.
yeah, I do art.
You're an artist. But before we take that break, I do want to talk about this great place we're in. This is BNN-TV. This is Studio B we're at. And BNN-TV is here for you. It's the place where you can come and do television. Let's say you're affiliated with a nonprofit. You want to get your mission statement out there. You want people to find out about what it is you're doing. You want to bring some guests here. Here is the place to come and do it. If you go to www.bnn.tv, click on Janice Williams or Jim Atwood's name or someone like that, they'll give you all the information that you need to come here and produce television where you'll be putting your mission statement out into the world every week. So that's where you go. Also, there's another side of BNN where you become a member, you take some incredible Final Cut Pro classes, you take some classes in lighting and in audio and how to run the cameras and how to do a shoot out in the community, how to do all the kinds of things, whatever it takes to do television, and they put it on the air for you. So if you want to become a member like that, you go to the same address, bnntv.org. And if you're going there right now to check it out and you click on what's playing right now, Julia and I will pop up on your screen. So we're streaming live all over the world. I know that I have to say hi to Kirsten out in Seattle, and Marianne up in Saratoga Springs up in upper state New York, and we've got Bud and Marg that watch us down in New Jersey. They're always sending us little emails telling us how happy they are about being able to find out and watch what's going on in Boston. So that's the way to do it. And the other thing we do here is we bring incredible interns in here to come and learn how to get their hands on live cameras and to learn how to do television, how to, what goes into it and all that, how to keep the host framed off, make sure that he doesn't drift off anywhere. No, don't do it. I'm sorry. Thank you. Got a whole room full of new interns today. I'm just playing with them. But we've also been asked, how do we get to see your show, Glenn? How do we get to see you and Julia if we've missed the program? If you go to YouTube, this show will be up on YouTube, ready for you to watch anytime you want tomorrow afternoon. So if you go to YouTube, It's All About Arts 1 is the address for that. You can check out our shows anytime. There it is right there. in our Twitter account. Look at that. These guys are all over in the other room. Thank you very much, guys.
It's all about arts or it's all about art?
It's all about arts with an S.
Oh, it is with an S.
It's with an S, yes. You know, people get confused about
Me
that.
too.
But it's all about arts because we talk about all the arts. Listen, anything else?
No.
Any shout-outs?
Let's get to our guests. Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Does Mom watch?
Yeah, she watches.
Hi, Mom.
She might watch, tomorrow, but
That's okay.
she'll still see me say hi.
There's no editing here, folks. We don't do any editing on this show. Listen, gang, hang in there. We're going to put up a couple of videos for you to watch. We're going to get to our great guest. Listen, gang, hang in there. Miko's going to be up with us in just a couple of minutes. He is from Turning Art, which is a great company that's helping people get art where they need to have it. And so listen, don't go away. My name is Glenn Williams, and to my right and your left, of course, is the lovely Julia Perciasepe. We will be back in just a couple of minutes. Please do not go away. Thanks.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your mother's smile. I can see the moon and stars up in the sky. I can see beyond the blue. And I can see your dreams come true. When I look into your eyes, I can see the sands of time. I can see the hopes and dreams and all your fears, though they're sometimes filled with clouds. Your eyes have always done me proud. No one told you, bought and sold you this way before. I'll console you, help to mold you. Your confidence we will restore. When I look into your eyes, I gotta say that sometimes I can see the whole world looking back at me through you. And as long as this will be, you'll always be the best to me. No one told you, bought and sold you this way before. I'll console you, help to mold you. Your confidence we will restore. When I look into your eyes, I can see your mother's smile. I can see the moon and stars up in the sky. I can see beyond the blue. And I can see your dreams come true. There comes a time when everybody needs to be with someone. Well, now's the time when I have realized you're that someone. can I have you by my side? Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging in there with us, gang. I hope everybody's doing great. I just want to remind everybody that you can't tweet us, right? Tweet us. Tweet. I did say twit, didn't I? I promised not to. You can tweet us at It's All About Arts on Twitter. And if you would like to see any more of these programs coming up, there it is. The YouTube address is It's All About Arts. #1 is the way you get there. And right now it is my great pleasure in honor to introduce you to Miko Carating.
Carating, yes.
How'd I do? How's that?
You did quite well.
Miko, how
I've heard
are
so
you?
many versions of it. I'm doing well this evening, and yourself?
I'm very well. Thank you very
Good.
much. I appreciate you coming in tonight. You work for an organization that partners empty space with art.
Yes.
How's that for a description? Does
Oh
that
yeah,
work?
that's a very important component of what we do. It's called Turning Art, and basically we rent art to both individual people for their homes so they can test drive imagery and figure out what works for them, and in a bigger level to different spaces, professional spaces, nonprofits, organizations, etc.
Okay. Do you ever get into curating group shows so that artists have an opportunity to kind of, is there a reception involved, or is it just kind of transferring space?
We like to advocate that when the spaces are fully adorned with the art of their choosing, that there is a celebration of some sort, but that's definitely up to
That's a pretty cool way of putting it, advocating for a celebration.
Yes.
But is it often a group show, though, or is it?
Yeah.
It's not one artist's work at a time.
Definitely. It's up to what the people who are procuring the art want for their space. When it's individual people, sometimes, as I mentioned, they are test driving images and they're sort of just experimenting. Maybe they don't know what their art taste is, because it is a little bit of a stratified market. So this is sort of a low pressure way for people to decide what's right for me, not what the market is telling me,
Right.
not what TV and the media is telling me is good. What is good for me as an individual?
Is there somebody at Turning Art that's specifically kind of geared or tuned to be able to guide somebody in the right direction for what art will fit into a space specific?
Oh yes, I'm one of the curators, and there's also the artist community. The artist community at Turning Art are the people who reach out to the artists directly. And I work with the people who want art, and I then partner up with the artist community to look at some pieces and figure out, this is a very hip, creative space. Let's look at some art that fits that aesthetic. What would be the aesthetic expression of that image? And also, actually, we're big proponents of localizing and really supporting the local community.
That's the next space. That's where I was going to go next. Is there a local artist component? I mean, or are you hanging Van Goghs?
No, these are all contemporary artists that we are looking to support, that we're looking to get out there. And if we have, let's say, an organization, let's say it's a nonprofit in Chicago, we will definitely advocate that they look at our Chicago artists that we're representing. One, because we are proponents for localizing, but also because it will be just more efficacious for their space. These are Chicago artists, you're a Chicago organization, you understand the city, they understand the city.
Yeah. You've mentioned nonprofit a couple of times. Are you guys working with a lot of nonprofits, or is it mainly a business?
We're not exclusive. We work with every sort of organization.
And are they real arts or are they prints?
They are prints. They are high-quality fine arts prints. We actually have an
You have
example
one
here.
here
Yes.
for an example. Let's
Yes.
take a look.
Yes, that piece
Want to
is.
pass it up here?
Sure.
So
Shall I
I'll
pass it
hold
up here? Okay, great.
yeah. I don't mind holding it.
Sure.
Make sure we get the glare off. I'm an expert now in making sure we don't glare.
Fantastic.
So, now who
Yes.
is this artist we're looking at?
This is Justin Resnick. He is an artist based in Seattle. He specializes in nature photography, and that being the case, it's conducive to a lot of traveling. He's been to about 6 continents. He's
That's a great shot.
Yeah, he's a fantastic photographer, one of my favorites.
That's great. Now,
Yes.
I'm going to put this here so I can enjoy it during our
Oh,
conversation.
great.
When it's odd you said Chicago. I mean, is this Turning Out an international organization? How long has it been around?
It's been around since about 2010.
Oh,
and-
so you're relatively new.
Yes, definitely new. And we serve the entire country, not international yet.
Yet.
Yes.
I jumped in there too. I saw that. Are there affiliate? Well, first of all, I think Julia asked a great question. Is there a storefront where people walk up and say, "Hey, how do I get my coffee house needs some art. How do I get some local artists to hang?" Or is it an online?
It's
venture?
mainly online. The entire catalog and all the information about the artists are on the website. Not that people aren't welcome to visit our office. It's got a lot of art up, but it is mainly online.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
I mean, we're going to continue to use Chicago, for instance.
Sure,
Somebody
sure.
from Chicago kind of perks in and says, blah, blah. You have affiliates in Chicago that are going to be able to go, or are you jumping down to Logan to fly out there?
Well, basically all of the art or all of the matted and framed prints will be sent there, and that's covered by us. And if it's a really, really, really big order, a really big curated collection, we will definitely
Right.
send some help.
Okay, well, that's pretty fascinating. How long have you been with Turning Out?
I've been involved for about 5 months now.
5 months?
Yeah, I'm pretty new. I've been well apprised of the company since I came to Boston.
Okay.
I've always been an advocate of the arts, and
How else have you advocated for the arts? What else have you been doing?
I've actually worked, prior to Turning Art, I was working at the Institute of Contemporary Art as a docent.
One of my favorite places.
It's a fantastic place, yes. Did you see the Amy Silman show?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, it's down now, but
Was it great?
it was very great, yes.
I haven't been this year yet.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. I don't think it's big enough.
That's a good point, but it is a really great, the space itself, just
Yeah.
the architecture of the
Yeah.
space. It's just a good place
The
to
big
be
elevator
in.
and all that.
Yeah.
The whole cool thing.
Yeah.
So you've worked in the arts for a long time, but in our pre-meeting, you don't call yourself an artist, though. You
I-
don't draw or paint or sing.
Not well.
That's all. It depends on who's watching.
It's true. It's a good point. I'm an art advocate. I'm a very earnest art advocate. Yes.
Then this might be a good direction for us to go in. There's been this big debate that we end up getting into at some point. When does craft turn into art? And because working over at the Institute, you've probably run into this, where I happen to think anything that somebody creates on a creative basis and puts a little bit of their heart and soul, or a lot of bit of their heart and soul into it, is art.
I agree.
But there's people that will talk about it as, well, that's craft. Crafts at the Castle was very high-end craft, but wouldn't call it fine art. I think there's somebody who tools an amazing table out of something that's, in terms of beautiful piece of pottery, is an artist as well,
Absolutely.
or not a crafter.
Absolutely.
Have you run into any of that at all in your?
I've had this conversation in passing, and I don't think that craft and art are mutually exclusive of each other. Now, fine art, I suppose the dictionary definition could easily be denoted as art for the sake of art, not necessarily to be decorative, not necessarily to have any utilitarian purpose. Not to say that it couldn't be used for any utilitarian reasons, but art for the sake of art. If a craftsperson, if someone who calls himself a craftsman is making that piece for the sake of making that piece, then why isn't it fine art? Is
Right,
my
right.
take on it, yes.
Or why, or if they're making that piece of pottery, or if they're firing that glass, and it has a use, so it's no longer for art's sake.
It was, like I said, just because it becomes of use, I don't think that that attenuates the fine artness of the piece.
Right.
And this isn't this isn't something that can be put into a metric to be measured, but I suppose it's a matter of the intent of the artist as well. One of
Yeah.
many components that goes
Right.
into this layer
You know, that's
conversation.
a good point. We haven't in the past, when we've talked about it, we've talked solely about the piece. Not the artist hasn't always been something that's been brought up, and I think that's a great point. That what's the artist's intention here?
Exactly, yes.
You know, is it to instill a feeling in you, or is it to keep your coffee warm?
Sure,
You know,
Sure.
and I think that in a cool way.
yes.
You know, and I that's a great point. I'm glad I asked that, because it hasn't been brought up in that direction before. What did the artist want to do? He wanted to make a piece of art for art's sake. That's a great way of putting it. Thank you, Miko. That's good. You know Suzanne Schultz.
I do, yes.
How have your two paths crossed?
We actually have a mutual friend. She was on this show once, Diana Nicosia, the painter.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I adore
Okay.
her.
Yes.
She's not just one of my favorite friends, but one of my favorite artists. I
Yes, she's phenomenal.
Yes,
I've done some other things. I think she was a part of, we did a Newbury thing. We ran up and down Newbury Street one day with the camera chasing us around.
Oh, really?
One of those crazy things. And she was part of a group show. That was fabulous, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, Suzanne does some really amazing things, and she was on last week, and we got to talk about her artists and stuff. How many artists do you deal with?
At Turning Art, we
Yeah.
represent, at this point, close to 1,000.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
And if I, as an abstract artist, wanted to get together with you, how does one do that?
There is an application on the website, but we procure artists in so many different ways, and the reason behind that is because we don't discriminate based on genre or style. We want to make sure that it's good within a specific style, but
Okay, now how do you determine that?
it's more of a democratic process amongst the artist community. A lot of
Well, the artist community,
Or-
and your artist.
yes, the
your-
artist
your
community, yeah,
artist
Turning Art, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, sorry.
because that's an interesting description of moniker for them. The artist community. Are they artists?
They are artists. They are people who've worked in arts administration. Yes, it's
Okay,
sort of.
so they have some, at least they have a little turpentine under their nails.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right. So these are the people that are jurying the work that people are sending in.
Mm-hmm.
And are they looking for are they looking for where right away are they thinking their thought is, can I put this on the wall someplace, or are they looking at the style and the stroke?
They're looking more at the latter than the former.
Okay.
They're more, I mean, the entire organization's about advocating and supporting artists, but the artist community within Turning Art in particular, they live and breathe that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more about, if it's a realistic piece, how good is the technique? If it's more of a political piece, how apt is the social commentary, etc.
You said you try not to discriminate against people's, what they're thinking and doing, though, right?
Or we don't discriminate in any specific style or movement. We accept all kinds of photography, all kinds of painting. We're not creating a particular image, for example. We don't do this, but an example would be chic, fashion forward. You know, we don't have a particular, you know.
You had so many to pick from. I can't believe you picked that.
Your shirt is it's a very fashionable shirt. I think that's sort of what incited that.
Okay. So
yeah.
many to pick from. That was great.
Yes, but you know, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yes.
How do people get in contact with you? What's the website?
It's www.turningart.com.
It's great to have you here, Miko.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate, I appreciate what you do. I mean, you get art out where people can enjoy it. I think that's a huge deal. We have so many artists these days that do these beautiful pieces.
Yes.
They put it over there, and they do another one.
Yeah.
And that one sits there until the next one comes and leans up
It's
against
true.
it. And I think getting these people's work out where people can appreciate it is God's work. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
I
It's my
appreciate
pleasure.
having you. Once again, the website?
www.turningart.com.
Okay, gang, sit back and relax. We'll be back in just a real quick second. Julia will be back in a second. So don't go away, gang. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Didn't I see you standing over there just the other afternoon? Hidden by shadows, waiting for a man, hidden from the sun. For a man that never comes, like a race that's never run. As the road widens, and it almost always will.
Well, welcome back, gang, and back with me is Julia. That's very interesting. I love the whole concept of being able to, you know, find a group that will, how this piece of art will fit
Yeah.
into this situation and stuff. You know?
Yeah, it also makes you think differently, like when you walk into an office building or you're sitting in your dentist chair or something and you look around and you see the art and you're like, how did this get here and who put this here? And it's
Well,
just,
9 times, you know, for years and years it's been old, you know, just happened to be there.
Yeah.
But people now are thinking about the environment they're in, you know,
Yeah,
and I think that the
definitely.
way that they're doing it is very, very cool.
Yeah.
We do have one tweet here from Hillary, something about getting Janice on here, on the air. That's great. This is great, Hillary. Thank you for tweeting that on here. We don't discriminate against artists either. At some point, we will have some of Janice's work up on our show. But thank you for joining us this evening. And you can join us, too, if you want to tweet us.
Tweets. Strike 2.
Strike 2. What are you doing over there? You shouldn't just laugh. You should tell me. Tweet us, right? Tweet us, if you'd like. It's a new thing we're trying. And there they are. Thank you, David, in the other room. And it's all about Arts 1 on YouTube is where you can see all of our old shows. There's some older shows and some great newer shows.
And I just want to mention, feel free to tweet an artful event that you're having or that you know of, and I can certainly, assuming it's appropriate, mention it during Julia's World.
Yes.
So it's a great way to promote your artful event.
Yeah, we absolutely want to get people more involved in this show. I mean, it's not always easy to make a phone call and give us a call here, you know. So you can very easily get on there and give us a tweet and let us know what's going on, and we will be more than happy to involve you in our program. I think that's a real cool thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, so we've only got a couple of minutes left. Any plans for the week? We're off next week.
I know.
All of these times off.
I know. It's
the Monday.
It's always the
Monday
Mondays.
thing.
Yeah. People love a Monday holiday.
Janice
Who
wants to go to
doesn't?
Foxwoods.
Oh.
She wants me to take her down to Connecticut with a
I've never
roll
been
of
there.
nickels. I've never been there either, but she's been there. She thinks it's the greatest thing. So I think we're gonna drag ourselves down there this either Sunday or Monday.
I'm a terrible gambler.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Not Sunday, because those New England Patriots will be hot at it this Sunday. Right?
Did they win?
They did win.
There you go.
Uh-oh, you're not a football fan?
I enjoy watching football, but I'm really bad at kind of
Knowing what's going
on. I know all the rules and everything. I mean, I grew up watching it with my dad, but I just can't, for the life of me, you know, take that extra step.
It's okay.
I know.
There's plenty of
It
us.
is okay.
There's plenty of us out there that do take this step.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, gang. Thanks an awful lot for being here with us, Julia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure. Listen, gang, get out there and do something artful for yourself. Julia gave you a couple of great things that are coming up.
Yeah.
And get out there and enjoy them. And like we like to say every week, please keep in the forefronts of your minds our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Please get out, do something artful for them. Maybe tweet them something and let them know what's going on in your community and your life. Listen, gang, we're off next week, but we'll be back in 2. Thanks, gang. We'll dig you next time, okay?